All right, you devils out there, happy Friday. Oh, let's see now. It's it's about 2:30 for me, a little behind schedule today. That's all right. I've got a nice lineup here. We're going to focus on crypto exclusively today. We're going to work with a hot list over on altfins here. Well, before we get to that, you bear with me. I've got to do this. I don't do this often, but when we have a promotion or we have our Black Friday, as so many do, we have our Black Friday sale. I really so pleasantly surprised to see how many of you are taking advantage of this particular. I mean, this is the best value, right? To get the belt system for half price. But of course, you could do individual belts. They're half price. Your Discord membership, which you have access to, that's one. This would give you a yearly access here. It's just a question of you want to dig into the belts or not, right? That's optional. We don't make that a requirement, but I think your progression in our methodology will be influenced by the amount of time and effort you invest into developing that skill set, but it's optional, right? So other choices for you. So this is going to go through the weekend here. We'll probably wrap it up Monday. Maybe end of Monday when we call that Cyber Monday. Okay, right. So there you go. Just so you know, everybody, that's available to you. So if you're interested, that's the time to do it. Save some money. Okay, so let me show you what I did here. Pardon me. Let's start with Bitcoin, as I always do. Here, I think the best guide here is our weekly. This has been pulling us for quite some time. We'll look at the subdivision here just briefly. I don't think it's terribly complicated. You'll note here I've got this kind of a hot box up here, anywhere from 100. All I'm doing here, if I can grab it, all I'm doing is taking the length of the one wave. And there's two we can project from here because there's some, and two people might pick the four differently here. You got one possibility here, one possibility here. Here's 1618, the length of the one, right? You move it here, it's right here. So this is 150 to 162. I wouldn't worry too much about that. There's a high class problem. Now, if I take that off, you can make a case here that there may be a need for a deeper four, right? Did we just get one? Well, looking here, 1, 2, there could be, right? It wouldn't be a calamity, right? If we had something deeper, even something like this down here. 81, right? That's a gift. If that gets offered again down here, I wouldn't miss that opportunity. But we shall see, right? For right now, of course, volume's going to ease up a little bit here. You can understand how perhaps those with the muscle to spook the market might dump it a little bit here just to scare some people, right? Take out some overly leveraged longs. Hopefully, none of you are trading this with leverage, although I'm sure some are. Be careful up here, right? We've had the break of structure and no retrace yet, right? Now that's a weekly break of structure. You would anticipate some sort of retrace. What do I got here? I got a 3-day. Is that enough? Maybe. I wouldn't count on it. But then again, this 3 could still be going here. So this could be 1, 2, 3. We just had a little 4, and we're still working on the 3, right? So all of this can still potentially go much higher, and there still could be a bigger 4 yet to come, right? So let's not lean too hard into it. Or let's let the market dictate how we react to the swing structure. Right now, it's just game on, right? Bulls in charge, right? What a nice holiday. Yeah, we'll see how long that lasts, but right now that's great news here. Let's see if I quickly go over here. Let's get, where's the most recent one I have? I go over here, BloFin, right? We like to highlight BloFin when we can, right? It's our sponsor. It's where we do all of our trading. But I don't have full history. So when I'm looking at something like a weekly, I've got to go to where I can. I've been using the crypto exchange here because I get it. It's an aggregator. I get all the history. Let me take some of this stuff off here. I think that's... I got this support and resistance. I got an update there. Well, let's take that off for a second. That's kind of nice new feature. I don't know if you guys have seen that, right? They're building the update on TradingView. Okay, so the way I have it, let me get back to a daily here. We've got the 3 high in at this degree. The 3 high is in. I know it's gonna be hard to see. Shit. Let me try an 8-hour here. I think we've been over this enough, right? I'm sure members, right? I've got a pretty good view of this. Oh, come here. Oh shit, what did I hit? Oh shit, I hit an 8 range, not an 8-hour. No wonder. Bear with me a second. How about that? That's a little better. Okay, so as I see it here, I think this is the more conservative count. 1, 2, 3, 4 in, perhaps. What would we be seeking up here, right? Now 116, right? So you think back to the weekly. Oh, okay. Wait a second. Maybe there's another degree in this. Is this going to be, possible? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Could be that we've got another leg to go here, and we're still seeking the top of the 3, right? We can't call it just yet. I'm just working through because the 3, 4 here got a little squirrely. Oh, 8's probably fine. We look in here. It got a little weird here. It wasn't a great finish here relative to the prior swing structure. It's tolerable, right? You wouldn't back off of that count. But let's go to 1. This is where it got a little weird. Oh, let me take that off for a sec. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. It's a terrible finish. Right? If you can do it. I mean, I think I had to go down to a 15-minute to get it done. But 1, 2, 3, 4, that's a perfect 50. Oh, just to show you how the algos, right, dictate. Right, there's right to a 50. Then here, look at the top, literally to the tick. Just a reminder, right? Never lose track of what Al's doing. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, what a disappointing fifth. Can I get 5 in there? Yes. Did somebody buy the high? Yes. Will that be the all-time high? Probably not. Now, again, this got a little wacky here too, right? I don't like this balance too. We're going to go through. We're going to push that far, right? So we're going to look like this. Can't say I love this. It's the 4, right? It takes too long relative to the 2. But there we are, right? Now, what's another possibility? Could we do it something like this? And then we've done a 1, 2. Well, it's possible, right? We can't eliminate these possibilities, right? And the market's not always going to do exactly 50 golden zone. Let me get all these on here. It's not always going to do that for us. Now, is that a little bit of a squeeze? Yeah, it is. Put the 2 at the 38. Now, I'm out of log scale, right? So it's not like I'm getting compressed higher. Is it radically unusual to have a 2 at a 38? Absolutely not. And then it looks like this is a series of 3s as well. So I'm a little bit suspect of this move here. Okay, could we call that 2? Yeah, we could. It looks more like ABC, ABC, ABC. Right, yeah, let's not pop the champagne corks just yet, right? Let's see how we get through this. This looks like 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Okay, right, I don't want to be a buzzkill, but if you don't be overly optimistic, right? Better to be more cautious, right? Ping, ping, heading for that one. Okay, well that's not relative, right? That's tied to the 38, which is not an algo we identify. 1, 2. It's okay, right? I don't know that you want to necessarily do anything, right? Certainly not a great time to be shorting, right? That's my opinion, right? If you're a deacon and you're shorting and longing all the time, have at it. That's not what we teach or what our style is. Now I'm looking here, right? The ABC here is pretty clear, right? It looks better like you've got a good 3 here, and that's the 4. But the 2 to the 4 is completely wacky. Yeah, it's not like it doesn't happen, but I just caution, right? A little bit of caution here. We got some, holiday hours, right? So the market is more easily manipulated because you have less trading volume. So, okay, right? So again, if this were going to be the 5, and then we've got another impulse going in here, assuming this holds as an impulse, well, what is this going to be? Likely not the 5th. Right, that's likely the 1 of the next impulse, right? Leaving much higher prices ahead. Okay, right. So that probably sort that out until we get some sense of, right, is this going to keep pushing higher, 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 or are we due for this 5 to give us some sort of a correction? Kind of watch the channeling here to keep an eye on it. But I'm sure you see my concern with the imbalance here between the 2 and the 4. Right? Again, it's not saying we're not going much higher. It's just that gives me a little bit of pause, right? I don't want to add right up here. And, you're adding up in the top 5% of the range, right? Do you want to add here? I'm not saying don't. I'm just saying I wouldn't. but maybe something we'll just rip here, through the weekend, and I'll miss something, but so be it, right? I'm not really worried about it. But to each his own, right? You got to make your own judgment call there. This is too far, right? I'll wait for a retrace because I know it's likely to come. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Now, what I did for the rest of what we're going to cover here, I went over to, you guys know this is one of my favorites, it's altfins. And I do encourage, oh shit, if I can get it to come up here. Hang on. There we go. It took a minute to load. I strongly recommend these guys for any crypto traders. This is a great place to look for ideas. They do a very nice, it's traditional technical analysis, right? So it won't throw you. It's something you won't recognize. It's a little bit different than what we do, but it's just generally, it's MACDs and RSI and Stokes and market geometry and chart patterns here, but it's very, very well done, right? If you're interested in this, right, we've got a link in our link tree below, right? If you want to support the channel, right? Of course, yes, we do get a little kicker from that. Okay, anyway, so I went to their technical analysis screener here and I said, okay, well, show me in the near term, I want to see pullbacks in an uptrend, right? I love that you can do that. So, okay, only one of the 10 that are on here that we're going to spin through, only one's on their hot list, which particularly hot, but I wanted to see pullbacks in uptrends, right? You see, I can get a nice list of 10 here right now from the universe of alts that they cover. So let's just take a spin through that and see how we look. Okay, so you'll note here I have all 10 of them here, right? The only thing not on that list is Bitcoin, but we've covered that. So let's just work down the list. Okay, so let me put that off for a second. And I think most of them here I've got on daily. Let's pull back here. You're going to see a very consistent pattern that all of the, well, not all, the vast majority of the major alts have gone through this consolidation period before this recent launch. So for some, it's a little bit easier to count than in others. This here, I think we can probably get away with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here leading diag into the 1. It's not we're on a daily. So can I get a little more subdivision in there? Is it perfect? No, but I think we've got a decent start on the 5th. So we can go 1, 2, looks like 3 going in, 4. Now we want to be mindful of the swing high of the 1. If we're trying to play this as an impulse, right? So A, B, C, okay, would be right in the pocket where you might anticipate that. If we're going up here, if that's get you right there. 38, 23, highest probability location for a 4. We don't overlap the 1. Can we get out of here as an impulse? Well, we've got to see. Buyable right there. But, you can't, don't assume we're going to the moon here. It would look like 1, 2, is that 3? Well, right now it looks like 3. Remember, Elliott waves, it's always just a snapshot in time, right? All it would take is for this to move a little higher like this, and you might be back here thinking, wait a second, is this 1, 2? Am I going to be done here? Well, it's not likely to be 5. If we push up here, what would your first thought be? Well, okay, possibly that's 1 of 5. The alternate would be, since I've got a nice tight, I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd have a fairly tight impulse here. I might be inclined to consider that its own 1 wave, right? So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Implying much higher prices. You can see here, if we pivot here and we get this target here, well, that's, again, I shouldn't. I've got that with no targets, right? So that's misleading because that implies that there's an algo that's with a target up here. That's just a holdover from the 50 golden zone, from the contemporary measured move. So, okay, a potential target up here. Well, one way we could do it, just as we were looking at on Bitcoin, length of the 1, right? Projected from what is currently proposed as the 4. We don't know for sure that's the 4. I look up here. Okay, well, there's, right? So if I do that, is that going to be the 5th? Well, it could be, but right, given the bullish nature of this, if I pull back out here, right, we're going to do this, maybe, right? I'm more inclined to think we're heading that direction. And by the way, to get this fully, to get the full look at this, let's get this off of here. This looks like I've got a good impulse, 1, 2, but then this not 3. Right, look at the overlap here. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, working on 5 of 3 relative to this 1, 2. So hard to argue with this, right? Hard to, I mean, the channeling is pretty good. I mean, how do we argue with that, right? Beautiful impulse. Now, we don't have it yet. It's not complete yet, but that looks like what we're working on. So we're heading up here for that 5th to get that 3rd. Oh, I got here, we'll get you off. Probably bring this out out a bit. Channeling, right? Be amazed how consistent that is. Okay, well that would, so where would that be putting that? I don't have the 5th, but let's just project a little to see how we would look here. Oh, let's just do here, right? No, that's not the one I want. I want wave 4. Okay, right, so wave 4 here between, well, you know, I say the same things over and over, right? So that you get the drift, right? Highest probability location for a wave 4. Right at the channel. 3. Right, I'll be looking for 3, not thinking that it's over, right? Thinking that this is the retracement of the 4, 5 yet to come. Right, so pretty good one to keep your eye on. Right now, do we have a trade at the moment? Well, you could trade in that 3 to that 5, or pardon me, that 4 to that 5, right? That's tradable right now. Stop under the low. Why take any extra risk? No need to, right? It's either going to cooperate or it's not. So you don't, there's no, don't write it down. Never, no, don't, just take the small loser, move on. All right, let's see what happens. If it breaks here, oh, something else may be happening. Doesn't look that way now, right? Very tradable right now. Okay, let me keep working down the list here so I don't take 3 hours on this. Tezos, right? Also, you know, we're just working down the list here, right? XTZ. Quite a moonshot here. Let me push that off so we got a little more screen real estate. You got to pull back. This is a monster. Okay. Oh shit, come here. Okay, all right, so we finally get a low here after all of this crazy town. I had to go to Coinbase on this one. For some reason, I couldn't find this on crypto. So this is on the actual exchange, on the Coinbase exchange. I do get a low down here. It's a little funky. It looks like a pretty clean impulse here. You got to go A, B, C into the B to get a W. This is what I was talking about, where so much of crypto just did a series of 3s, right? We have this consolidation box, right? Most of the majors all did this. So the Elliottician is struggling here a bit because we come, now we can look at it and just understand, right? Okay, accumulation, expansion, right? It's classic Wyckoff, you know, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? So all that stuff is in play here, right? You can just see it, right? It's like, oh, it's come on, right? How do we miss that? But for a clean Elliott count, oh, it gets weird, right? WX, right? You can see the 3 that it ends with. So if you got to kind of work backwards. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4. I get a C here. Well, okay. So if I'm finishing with an ABC, that makes me think WXY. Can I get? It's, you know, terribly imbalanced, but does it matter, right? To some degree, you know, sometimes what you'll find is that Elliott will be elusive, right? You'll go into something like this consolidation, then boom, it just shows up, right? So out of the smoke comes the fire, and then it plays ball. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, right now is that the 4? Okay, same kind of thing. Is it somehow related to this? Well, you've heard me say this for 6 years, right? I don't want to connect. I don't ever, if I can avoid it, I don't ever want to do something like this. I don't ever, no, never, right? That's only if there's no other alternative would I ever count something that way. I want them to be tight and contained in a channel. Not that they don't always do that, right? There are times when it does that. It's just I don't want to risk money if it's doing something abnormal. I'll let it do that if that's what it's going to do. But okay, if it completes a 5, all right, I'll wait for the 3. But it's never a place where I want to put money because it's so abnormal to what a good impulse is more likely to look like. So is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Right? Do I have it? Well, I can make a reasonable deduction. Let's go to a 4 so you know, look what it would look like in that finish. It's not great, right? Okay, so maybe we have to rethink this, right? How can this thing go higher, right? Once we get off the daily, maybe there's a better count we can come up with here that's internal, right? And you can see I'm creating one right now on the fly. Well, okay, right, we can work with minuet here. So there's the C, right, out of this consolidation. So A, B, you know, again, sideways, right? Accumulation, expansion. Okay, 1, 2. Don't love the 2, but we know it can't be a triangle, so some sort of consolidations there in this. WX, oh fuck, WXY, or shit, does it matter? A, B, C, that could be it. Well, what am I doing with that? I got to account for it. I can't just go, well, that's inconvenient, right? If anything, it's helping me. So I'm in the pocket there. It looks like 50 the golden zone. So why would you not consider that a 2, right? There'd be no reason not to. Of course you'd consider that too. What does that make all of this? Well, it looks like we've got a completed impulse, right? So this is a high-class problem. Oh, okay. Well, oh, I forgot to label another... well, let's put it here, see what the subdivision looks like. Okay, whoa, I love when I have to do this. Add another degree. This is not bad news. This is good. I mean, if you're a bull, this is very good news. Okay, right, so we get, again, the 4 and the 2, shaky, but this is a little bit better, right? So, oh, if I'm drawing this one, oh, I guess we could do it. We'd have to do it something like this. Okay, is that my 3? Hard to argue with it. I mean, here's a completed impulse, right? Well, there it is, right in your face, right? So we got to account for it. So 1, 2. Well, if that's where we are, right, which is a reasonable deduction. Okay, well, let's consider our wave 4. Whoa. Love it when they line up like that and a plan comes together. Okay, do I have that coming in? Well, maybe I've got to fatten this out a bit. The 2 and the 4, okay, I can live with that. It's not my favorite, right? It's kind of there, but let's do it this way here. So a little overthrow here. Reasonable target, center line. Okay, let's do the same thing we did with Bitcoin when we started. Length of the 1, projected from the proposed 4. 1618, pretty reasonable target. 1, 2. Excuse me. Let's get you out of there. How about 1, 2? Past the 2618. I mean, that's a major rip in Tezos. Well, anything past the 2618, and I'm in log scale. I take it out here. Right, we're way past. Well, that sometimes that can help you see it a little bit more clearly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the channeling blows up a bit when we take it out of log scale. Do we need to be in log scale, right? From 50 cents to $1.80, right? 4 times the range. Yeah, we need to. We need to at least look at it. Okay, looks like, is that tradable right there? Well, maybe. Well, you probably get a count in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, it's a little fatter, and I make a point of that. It's too small. You're kind of stuck with that. Looks like it's a flat, right? That's not quite far enough here. Again, I'm not such a purist that it didn't go 90. I'm not calling it flats. It looks to me like that's a 3. Again, I would be back here to correct it if something else develops here. I can live with that. What I like less is the 3 to the 4. So how might I solve that? Got to do it here, right? Get all in one swoop. Okay, well then what's the retrace look like? I get a 50, I do, right? So I have a candidate here. Let's see, when I can do this, again, this just comes from doing this for a lot of years, right? And all the times where I was wrong. Okay, I want that straight shot to be one, if I can, right? If it's there, I don't want to force fit it. But if it's there, I'd rather get that all in one shot. Okay, what does that tell me? Is that I'm on a 15. Jesus, even if I go to a 5, right? Do I have? Oh shit! Let's get the market structure off there. Hang on. Do I have it? Or am I force fitting? I don't like to go down to a 15 unless I'm absolutely forced to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be here. A, B, C. 1, 2. You got to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there, it may be there. That's a good 4. It's all wick into the 5, but we do complete. And I get a nice tight channel. So again, feel free to disagree. I'm never, ever here to tell you my count is the right count, right? It's just me applying the methodology we teach over here, right? So as I come back to this, okay, could this be 1, 2? Let's label it 1. I'll put it there for a second. Oh, let's take you up a degree here. Shit, I'm getting stuck on one. I was going to move quickly through all of them, but here I am stuck in the middle again. Okay. Okay. That looks. Oh, that looks like it's a 50 maybe. Is Al involved here? Probably. I guess it's a golden, right? Is Al there? There he is. Right, but he fails, right? So we get a double. Jesus Christ. We get 1, 2, 3, 4 probes into the golden zone. One last tag of it, and then down we go, right? So this algo is denied, right? It doesn't get its target. It happens all the time, right? Just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to get its target. So, oh shit, it doesn't matter. It's a three-wave correction, right? You could call it what you want. We've essentially got that. Again, I can live with that. I want a 5-minute to dig this out. I rarely do that. Only if I'm really digging for something that I don't like what I see. This looks like A, B, C. So A, B, 1, 2, barely squeaks by. I think you're good with a 2 there. Is that 3? Maybe 4. Looks like that's going in. But now if I do that, right, it's all wrong. It's because I'd have 1, 2. That's not going to be 3, right? So it looks like 3 is well underway, but it looks like there's going to need to be a lot more there. And if I look at it again, you might say, oh, well, couldn't it be this? Could be. Yeah, but the 4 and the 2, again, not great balance there. So again, I'm not saying don't trade it or can't go higher. I'm just saying that's, I'm picky about what I choose where I choose to risk money. So I won't chase something. Again, I'm not trying to talk you out of something. So draw your own conclusions here. 1, 2, 3 looks like that could be the start on something, right? But that's not much of a correction. And I don't want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. No way. No way. I'll wait for this to complete. Now maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We shall see. Right. So this is not quite ripe in my opinion. Right. I think it's what it's worth. Out to a 30. Right now I've got that as the 2. Right. And I'll hold and wait for that to show me otherwise. If it's going to really play ball, right, we're looking for something much more substantial. So maybe that's 1, 2, or that's the start of A, B, C into a 2 to give me a bigger 3. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, I'll move away from that. I think that's better to wait on that one. Never forget, right? I always feel like I need to remind you guys, right? It's so easy to forget. There'll be an algo on the other side. Right, you got to clear all this before you're, off to new highs. Right, have to clear Al. Right, he'll be there waiting. Okay, let me keep moving. Who else do we have in this list? SHIB. Oh, well, let me get back to a daily here to start it off. Okay, so that goes out. I'm on crypto again here. Right, so we got the full. What do you do with that? Right, that's a beast. Well, it's something like this, you have to take it out of log to get some perspective, right? So, I mean, the difference is so dramatic. Well, I think here I would just do it this way. I would just start from this. Come here. I would start from that low. Okay, what are we doing with that? Well, let's just zoom in there. Okay, here's our launch point. Can we do anything with it? Well, it ain't great, right? No matter how you slice this, for the Elliottician to work through that, right? Because you've just got a lunar shot here. It's doing similar, right, to what they all did here, although this really broke here. We didn't get the next push down, but you would call that the accumulation. I'm not inclined to be doing this. It's just me. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't like that. I wouldn't do it I wouldn't count it that way. So I have a unknown. The correction looks pretty reasonable. Looks like I got a W, X, A, B, C into the Y. I'm not going to worry about this until I get this starts to fall apart. Right now, I can see an impulse here, and this is a little shaky as well. I've got a kind of a tricky, not an ideal triangle in there. So you got to. One thought is don't trade it. Well, the other thought is, okay, well, if I'm not exactly clear about the foundation of my methodology being an Elliott count, okay, do I just not trade it? Well, okay, I'm not saying that. Could we trade this with just pure market structure, right? And with the Elliott being elusive at the moment, as often it is, okay, well, if I come off of this low, can I make sense of where we are here? Well, I can certainly see that I would have a clear range, right? So I can, I'd have a high and the low being down here. So I'd have a PD array, an awfully wide one, but I can say, okay, well, here's the last low that gave me this internal uptrend, right? As I get it, oh, come here, God, I never get the first one. 1, 2, 3, retrace, break of structure, retrace, right? I don't have it. So now, do I get another break of structure? Well, that would give me a clean 5. So let's dig in from this low here and see if we can get out of this with some degree of clarity. Okay, so this is, again, like so many of them. Oh, it's not even me drawing that. What are we doing with that? Well, to keep it as an impulse, I'd have to go 1 A, B, C into the 2 because of this, I would be spared the overlap here. Let me get these off for a second. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Is that a perfect triangle? No, but it'll do, right? For a 4, right? Keeps me off of the 1 high. Am I thinking diag? Well, I could, right? You could do it this way. You have the overlaps here, but it doesn't kill the potential for a diag. But what I don't like here is the 2 and the 4. I'm gonna leave it like this, right? Again, if it's not clear, don't feel like you must trade it, right? I know this is getting a lot of buzz. 1, 2, 3, 4. Doesn't look like that's done either, and we have this seems to be a redundancy here of this consolidation. All right, we're doing it again. So like these typically would help you identify the 4 as we stop progressing the trend. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, we're doing it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, shaky triangle, but I don't know what else you'd call it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now give me that, and okay, well now it starts to get a little more clear to me as to where we are and where the next opportunity is. Well, if we complete this up here as a 5, you know what I'm going to say, right? Not much confusion about what would come next. Right? The variable is going to be, well, this is going to be the dominant low. We get a new high up here. I don't know, right? Do we get a new high, right? This would be the logical target. Well, let's just look from this right here. We don't quite make the 50. That's off of my low. So I'm start of the 1. As an impulse, I might do it here. 3, bunch of tags of the 50. First target, working on second. Could be a front run on the second. That could be it. Well, you could chase this. You could. Are you buying premium or discount? Right? That's the first question you always ask. Okay, well, if I'm going to buy that, where's my stop? And what am I trading off of? Well, you can see the pretty big, bring it in here, right? Pretty big fair value gap that's now been pretty heavily mitigated here. Did we get the center line? No, but you'd call that, you'd be eating up the imbalance there, so mitigated. Do we get that 5? If we do, we would be leaving this high up here. For all I know, we're way past it. But just using traditional, okay, let's do it again, right? So if we take the length of the 1, if that is the 1, right, which makes this a little tricky, we're going to get the 2, 6, 1 8 up here for the 5th relative to the 1. Or if I push it up here, if that's the 1, could I get that high, right? That would give me, if I got 2, 6, 1 8 here, well, then I'd have a sweep of that high, right? Where we know there's liquidity up there, and that will be the target the algos will be after. Can they do it? All right. So then do you want to put the 1 back here, right? And then this goes to, I guess we do it that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, A little sloppy. You know, 3 to the 4 to the 5. It's not great, right? But it's okay. If you want to play ball in here, you got to trade the market that's in front of you, not what you'd hope to see. Again, note I'm in log scale. Take it out of log, it changes it a little bit. It's not dramatic. But what kind of lays over your mind's eye is the fact that it sure does look like we're working on a 5 here. That's at the top, right? That's tradable. If you're anxious, you're looking for a meme coin, right? You could probably, let's get it back into log scale. You could probably, what are we at? Oh God, I can't even count the number of zeros, right? That's probably tradable. I wouldn't give it too much room there. It's your call, right? That's not one I would chase. Okay, WIF, hat. Similar problem. Okay, let me come back here. How am I doing? Oh, 35. God. Whenever I say it should be a short one, guaranteed it's going to be a long one. All right, so well, 10 assets to get to is not nothing. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, right, take it out of log scale. There's very little debate as to whether or not we have a 5 there. But well, I shouldn't say that. In my view, that's clearly a 5. Here we get a WXY because I can look at the ABC to finish it, right? So I'm working backwards. You would just look, again, your eye is going to see this, right? Is it a 3? Yeah, it's a 3. 5 up, 3 down. 97, 90, I don't know how many years, right? Since Elliott produced his works, we got a lot of precedent. Algo's changing everything. Does the market still move in 5s and 3s? I'll let you draw your own conclusions. Here's that same little area where it's like, what the hell, right? Whoa. Right, it's like the struggle with Bitcoin. We're going to start this big bull market with a 3? Or do you have to do it here? A, B, C. It's tricky, right? So it leaves a little ambiguity for the Elliottian here, which we all are uncomfortable with. But it's okay, I don't know that it matters terribly, right? That looks like a good diag here if we do it this way. Or if you want the 3 here, A, B, I might put the 2 here. A, B, C. Shit, this could be A, B, C, A, B, C into the 4. I don't know that it matters, right? It looks like a good 5 is off the ground. Now, what is it in relation to? Well, that's where, again, I think, I just took it out, right? You should look at this in arithmetic, right? So this is not going to be anything but a 2, right? Which would suggest, right, again, just common sense, that this is going to be a 1. So I should actually take that down. Let's go down to micro here and label it accordingly. 1, working on 2. Seems a reasonable progression here based on what we can see, right? Now, again, it's just a snapshot in time. Where would you be anticipating? It doesn't matter almost which one you're using for the 1 high, right? We just have the dominant low to what is currently the dominant high. Where are we looking for that? Got a nice imbalance here, fair value gap that we could play off of here for the golden zone. If this is, so what would your anticipation be? Well, maybe I can get some sort of a 5 into this and come down here. Get legs into the 3rd, right? That would be the money ball. Where could we be going? Well, if it's going to do a traditional wave 3, 850 for dog WIF, that would probably make a few millionaires. Is it ready just yet? You want to buy that? I say you have to factor in time and balance, right? That's the 1. We're gonna correct that with this. So, oh shit, push it off, right? This is the 1. That's the 2. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying that I wouldn't chase that yet myself, right? So whenever I say that, I'm clearly acknowledging that if it takes off here, I'm going to miss that ride. Now, if it takes off with something from here and I get a nice little 5, oh, okay. I'm not saying I won't play, but right now that's just too soon. Again, there's so much to trade. Don't be picky about where you risk your money. Don't just because I fucking saw it on whatever. X, or if anybody's still on X, right? I guess a few people are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2. Right? It's not there yet. Right? Just a suggestion, right? But I'd keep an eye on it if it starts to run. KSM, I had this. I couldn't get this on crypto either for some reason. Same idea here. We have just like so many of them, we have this consolidation. Boom. So that's, now I'm out of log scale here. Do I need to be in log scale? Well, hard to do anything with it other than that. Okay, well, I get a low, and then I get that consolidation. I poke at the low. You can see here I had wicked off. I think that's the lowest. No, pardon me. On the daily, I don't know what I was thinking there. What was I thinking? Oh, I was trying to see if I could get if I was stuck with an ABC there. I think that's what I was doing. Well, here's the lowest close here off of this. Okay, so this since I'm finishing with an ABC, right? It seems like this is kind of dictating so many of these. Okay, I've got a 3 that's finishing here, so that would make me think WXY. So 1, 2, 3, 4, A, B. I can't get the C here, so you'd have to do A, B. Doesn't matter, right? You can get stuck here, right? Because you're trying to solve the puzzle, right? Do we have anything clear in this? Not really. It's just, again, as I've said before, right? Elliott can be elusive, and then it just out of that chop will come the rip. Okay, right? Do we have the rip? We sure do. Okay, so can we get out of here cleanly? Let me get over here again. Let's go to an 8-hour. Get a tighter look at that. It's iffy, right? Very intense wicking up here. Is this the 1, 2? It's tough call to make that 1, 2. The Elliottician is going to be frustrated here because it's not clean. This is decent. Again, what are you going to do with it? Is that what we're stuck with? Kind of looks like it, right? For the Elliottician, trying to count this. That's an 8. Let's go to a 1. See if there's anything there we're missing. Now I'm in log scale. Let's take it out of log. Any difference? Not really. Well, there's the low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like that's a decent approach. If you're right here, that's what your first thought would be, right? That's all you got to work with, right? Now it goes into this shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe you can get away with. Oh fuck. Oh, let's take that up a degree. God, that's some chop. Okay, so you got to account for it. Trying to keep it as self-contained as I possibly can. I don't know that it's right, but I'm going to just leave that there. I got to do something with it. Let's keep that something tight. Oh, I hate this 1. Well, what do we have here, right? We just, God damn it, I never get those on the first click, ever. God, can I even get that? Can I even get away with that? It's iffy. So your best case, you've got some sort of a 5 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, you can't ignore it, right? So you got to do something with it. Is this an ABC here, perhaps, for that 2? You're kind of stuck with it. Okay, I'm gonna get stuck here. All right. Speaking of stuck, okay. 1, 2. What am I doing with that? 1, 2. Rip. Seems reasonable. Well, that's a 3, right? So are we starting out here with something along these lines? I don't know. Right here, we're done here. So I'd rather get that to complete. So I'd feel much better on this, right? So it's not likely. Oh, shit, likely. Right? Less likely seems that we do this. And we're going to, that seems less likely, right? Possible? Of course, anything's possible. That seems less likely. But so I would be inclined to say, okay, well, where's the obvious drop dead in your face liquidity, right? That algos will be after. If we can get this 5 to complete, maybe they sweep that, right? Just for the obvious grab. Well, if they did that, right, that would at least give me a better sense of, okay, I can get a grip on what's likely next. So we can look at this and say, oh, well, again, I don't have this, but if I were to get something like this, now that retrace would be very appealing, right? So if I can get something like this, okay, well, now this has given me a little more conviction in the idea that we're going up for that. As it is right now, okay, pump, dump. Too soon to call that. So again, I'm picky. I encourage you to be. Why force something here? Couldn't this be WX? You can certainly see that as a candidate here. We could have WXY. Oh shit! Let's do ABC W ABC X. We don't know that that's going to complete. And then you're coming down here for an ABC into a Y. Right, lot. Right. Jesus, the imbalances here are massive. Oh shit! I got to turn more of them on. Here, right? Big imbalance down here, right? You could certainly see how it might be inclined to come down here, rebalance that out. Now, I'm not in log scale. Put it in log scale, it doesn't look so crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC. Just lunar shot. So I know we get so tied into the bullish enthusiasm, right? You just be careful, right? You're not going to miss it. Well, you could miss something here, but I think over time, right? If I can get that to complete, then I'm going to feel much better when I get this, right? I get a 3-wave correction. This is one I'd watch, right? A+ potential, but I'd be watching that, right? This is a little skinny, right? It's not terrible relative to the 1-2 here, but the initial one is a cluster F, right? You get a better look at it here, at all of this. All right, really stands out. All of this sideways. Even if you did this, right? And then we go. Okay, right? Wyckoff, guys. Loving that. Okay, shit. So much for being short. PEPE. Back to a daily. Well, where am I? I'm on crypto, right? So I've got full history on crypto. 1, 2. How do we not call that 3? Right. So now typically I wouldn't include this, right? It's just the bullshit for when it hits the exchanges, but you're kind of forced to use it. You don't think that's technical, do you? Just tags it. It just barely gets it. Okay. 1, 2. How are we not going to call that a completed impulse? We are going to. 3, where's the highest probability for a wave 4 between the 23 and the 38? Where do we go? Out we come. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this looks pretty good, right? I've already swept that, so I've had a break of structure here, right? If I put this back on, right? So we can, if I take that off, right? So break of structure, what do we anticipate? Retrace, right? So looks like maybe that 4 is going in to give us the push to that 5, right? Tradable? Absolutely. Now, are you buying retailer discount? You're gonna, if you want to chase that, you're going to be buying in premium. No way around it, right? There's no way out of that. If you want to buy that in the 4, right, there's discount down here. And you don't particularly, now see, sometimes in the 4, you can get away with that if you have something like this. Now here, we just don't have it. Oh, here. So if this, on that 3, if I had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Then if I had this here, which I don't have, obviously, well, then I could do it this way. I could say, okay, well, maybe if I get a deeper 4 here, it'll be at least a little bit closer to premium discount, right? From the 2 through the 4. still it's going to take a deep 4 to get you into the discount, right? That's the trade-off you make with Elliott, right? If you're going to trade the 4, it's not going to be in premium. It's not going to be a discount if you're a buyer, right? If we're doing 1, 2, 3, odds are, unless there's a very, a big 1, and a shallow 2, odds are it's not going to be in discount. So, okay, well, what do you do with that? You got to make a choice. Let's go to a 1, see if there's anything we could lean into there. There's nothing, right? That's the lowest low here before we go up. You can't trade it in discount. The best you'd have was be right. Well, pardon me. You'd have this hook right here. I might do it, right? So if you're not in now, well, you missed the first kick. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can label it. Looks like we're working on the 5 there. All right, and we've got a nice bit of channeling to play with there as we go up, right? Self-contained, just what we want to see. Well, that's a 1 hour. So I had to work at it, but that's the only way you can do it, right? This is some sort of chop monster. Jesus, what is that? I want to be careful what I get into here. Well, that could be the 1, 2, right? As we were just talking about. Maybe you had an expansive 1, a shallow 2 that would give you the potential pivot, even if you used it here, right? If you used that inducement low here out of this, what is that, an inverse fair value gap? 3. I should take that up. All right, 3. Is that the 4? Well, I got a good start on the 5. But okay, now here we can bring this back into the immediacy of the current swing structure. If that's the 4, and if that's going to complete as my 5, I don't have it. Well, what am I waiting for now? I'm waiting for the retrace, right, to bring it. So I could just do it this way because I'm waiting for the wave 2, right? That's the other way you can get into a premium discount. If you go down to a smaller time frame and say, okay, well, if that's the 4, well, I'm buying into the 4. I'm not in the premium. I'm not in the discount. Excuse me. I'm not in the discount. But if I get a 5 here and I'm waiting for the 2, well, now I can be a buyer in the discount where I'm anticipating that market to react, right? It just means you have to wait, right, for something else to complete so you can catch the 2 in the discount. Actually, it looks pretty good, right, for PEPE. Right, so are we done here? Well, you got 5 swings here, but this could be 1, 2. Well, you could be done there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. Boy, that got squishy. 1, 2. That could go further. You're a little late. You're a little late to the party, right? You're going to have to wait for this to complete. All right, whatever it does here. See how it wrestles with that imbalance up here. It's already been mitigated here, so it shouldn't have any trouble getting through it. So lots of obvious liquidity up here for you to go after. Okay. Oh my gosh, I was going to be short now. Holy shit. So much for short. Okay, AXS. I even did these here. I still can't do it in less time. Okay, right. So I'll do the chapters so you don't have to sit through all of these. Okay, all right. So here's Ax Infinity. Let me get this off to the side here. Let's pull out. Oh God, this thing is a beast. Okay. Oh, I think we can call that impulsive. I don't think we have to argue about that. Impulse. Oh, nice ride. Okay, so let's get over here. Now, in this kind of a zone, do I need to be in log scale, right? Because I prefer not to be if I can get out of it. Well, what's my low here? At $3 to $9. That's 3 times the range. You might, if we're just staying over here. I think we could all agree we probably got to. Oh shit! How are we gonna do this? What's 3, 4, 5, right? So I don't know. Shit. Probably look better in log. You probably got that. Oh, pardon me. That would be inaccurate here because we get a new low. So it cannot be that. That's not me. That's. So this would have to be A, B. So well, shit. There we go. All right. I was kind of forcing it there because I get a new low. Has to be the ABC. Interesting what happened up here, right? That's why I always want to draw your attention to these. Couldn't get to that. Right, that's the obvious liquidity. Obvious liquidity, right? They can't get to it. Market's weak. Sweep the low. Okay, so let's work from that low as we get down here. So here that consolidation period is, right, as they all did, consolidation before we launched. Okay. So coming out of that, let's get into that. Looks like there's a nice ABC. So working backwards, some sort of combo here has to get me done here because I'm not finishing with a 5. I'm finishing with a 3. So it has to be a WX, a Y, a W, oh fuck, X, oh shit. W, X, Y, X. Oh fuck, we're gonna have to do the X here. Z, W, X, Y. I could do it that way. Oh fuck, right? Does it even matter? I don't know that it does, right? We just go sideways, then we get a break. One out in log scale, I've got a perfect golden here. One into the pocket, into the golden. What's my low here? $4 to $8. I don't need to be in log, right? It's only double the range, so I'll stay out. So a wick goes through, but it's still 787. Or 707, excuse me. 1, 2, well, it's not going to be 3. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like we're working on the 5 of the third. Right? I don't know that that's in. That's daily. Looks pretty good, like that 4 is in. ABC. Working on the 5, right? That's pretty hard to argue with. Looks like you've got a 1 going in there. 1. Now, we'll see, right? Is it done? Maybe it's not done. Excuse me. 1. Somewhere up here, we're going to get a 1, 2. 1. ABC. WXY. That doesn't matter. Correction, it's 3 swings. We got a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. How does that relate to the 2? Let's just check it, right? It takes just seconds to measure, right? So a little deep for a 4. That's pretty aggressive price action. How's the channeling, right? I don't have the 5th up here, but I've got, well, pardon me, let's do it this way. Let's work with the what we've got at the moment. You could do it this way here and just put a sliding parallel on it. That's what I would do. Just do this. Bring it over here. So we got a sliding parallel. Is that my 1 going in? 4 is in the pocket. 1, 2, looking for 3. I should change that color. Let's make that. Trying to speed it up and I'm slowing down. 1, 2. Seeking 3. Lots of upside potential here for some of these. Lots of upside potential. Geez, I can't even find it. Here it is. Let's go back to a 4. You're late to the party here a little bit. If you're not already in, right? There, it looks like that was your 4. Working on the 1. Now, if we complete the 1, you're looking for the 2, right? That would let you buy in discount as we just went through that. Right, if we get the 1, we want to buy 50 or below for the 2 if we can, right? Got a fair value gap here that's fully mitigated, but you have that potential here for this to be the 1. You're waiting for the 2, right? So I would keep that ripe on your watch list. Okay, Axe Infinity. All right, let me keep moving. Geez, I'm trying to get done. This one is just crazy town. This is just a lunar shot. You pretty much are stuck. You're going to have to do this in log scale. All right, but wow. See, the talk about a problem for an Elliottician here, right? It looked big, great, right? It looked like it was done here. Right? Oh, 5, right? Waiting for the 2, but that's not what I get. I get a triangle. Now, note here, I'm on a daily. So it looks like I've got to deal with that 4, which means that this has to be 3, 4, 5 of 3. If this is going to play as a triangle, it sure looks like it is. Bonked. Well, nothing to do but play along, right? Let's focus over here. Still, it's just pretty much just straight up, right? There's almost no subdivision. Let's go to a 4, see what I get. Unlabel them, right? 1, 2, looks like 3, 4, 5. Looks pretty good, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like a little diag to finish, which is not uncommon. Nice channeling, right? Always kind of key to me. Okay, so what am I doing here? Now, if I take it out of log, where am I? Let's measure for the 50%. Right, so if I can be a buyer anywhere down here, I'm interested. Could be ABC going in. Actually, looks like that could be already something completed there. Looks like ABC is done, right? A, B, C. Into the C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. It looks like that's pretty good to go. All right, let's focus here. Now, so what does that mean for us? If the ABC is in, well, here's our C, and I'm going to, oh shit, am I doing another diag? It looks like I am. Hey, so much diags. Okay, well, let's just, we got to trade what's there. Maybe, looks like that's underway. Four longer than two, right? So you got all the ingredients here. Now we don't know that that's done. All right, here's a secondary pivot. I would want to check that. Dominant, of course, is up here. It's going to have to break through this if we're going to rip, which makes you think, okay, well, this is the first. Well, so first question is, did they use this? Right? Is Al there? Yeah, likely. Right? Yeah, yes, they did. Right. So here's the reaction at the target. So that's how we know it's an algo. Okay, so that would suggest to me that this is right. We're back to okay. How can I buy this in discount? I just had it up here. No, I'm not in log, so I can do this. All right, where's discount? Down here. 50, 75. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right by the book, right? It's not that complicated. All right, do I have the one? I don't know that I'm done here yet. I don't know that. But I'm just waiting for the retrace, right? So I can get a chance to participate here. I'd have that on my watch list as well, BONK, right? Hard to play with this thing. It's mighty volatile, so keep the size risk appropriate to what you're comfortable with. All right, almost done. Adam, one of our faves, right? This is a couple of my team, Sensei Wonka and PK. A lot of these guys have been all over this since it broke out, right? Which my good fortune to have some pretty smart people I work with. They got me into this early, into this ramp. So having a nice run here. So it looks like 1 WXY into the 2, right? It looks like, but you can see it again, right? It's the same thing that they all did, right? This consolidation, then the ramp. So that's what we're dealing with. But this one's a little bit cleaner. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the 1 WXABC, right? Into the WXY 1, 2. I mean, this one's playing ball pretty nicely, right? And look at this vertical, right? It's all straight. Just what I want to see in my let's get this in my impulses, right? Oh. Okay, so it looks like I got an ABC. 1, 2. Oh, what am I doing with that, right? So that makes me think possibly this has to go higher. Well, let's see if we can count that out. It's not much of a 2 there. Well, let's consider this 1. Jesus, I don't like it, but oh man, this could be bigger than I realized. Right here at first glance. Let's keep minuet in there. Let's put oh shit here, and let's put let's get one more count in there. And let's make that one. We'll go minuet here. Let's put that in something bright. Okay, so do we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2? Well, okay. You're gonna have to double check that, right? Because anytime you get that many 1, 2s makes me nervous, right? It's just okay. Well, is that really what I have here? That looks pretty solid. So that's solid. Well, it's not. You're not going to call that a B or anything else. I mean, it's impulsive, right? So I'm on a 4 hour. Let's go to the 1. There's not much subdivision. 1, 2. Well, you're 3, 4. It's okay. It's pretty much straight up. A, B. There's a B. There's a C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diag. ABC. Right. Nice little channel here. When I can, right? I always want to account for those channels. 1, 2. 1, 2. Now, okay. So I try and be a bit more conservative myself, right? So I don't want to be, giving myself bull porn. Okay, so let's just look here. I mean, for this to go past the 2618 and still be going, that's Okay, all right, so let's just leave it here. Now, the 2 and the 4 here are obviously not great. God, you might be stuck with it, right? I don't want to be critical here. Well, that looks like you've got it. Okay, let's take this up a degree. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, big 3. All right, it's a monster 3 going past the 2, 6, 1, 8. Cosmos, right, has been on a tear. Nice ABC here, 3, 4. Now let's just check, right? So it's so easy to measure, right? Measure twice, cut once, right? So okay, decent for a 4, deep for the 4. Or maybe coming back here to that little fair value gap or this little order flow divot here. We're looking for that 5. Okay, well, how does it look, right? So are we getting too far askew, right, to have the right look for the 4 and the 2, right, to play ball? It's not terrible. Not terrible, right? So okay, let's stick with that. 4 being in, it's right location for a 4. So what are we trying to achieve here? We're trying to get. Let's gonna have to draw that again. Let's stay focused on the impulse we're in. Okay, all right, so I can do it this way, but obviously I'm going to have to move that down. That'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks, well, looks like you might have a 1 going in there. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Working on 3, 4, 5. Holy shit. I had no idea this was going to be so long today. Okay. It's white. Okay, we're getting for a 3 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Can we get a 3 here? We're obvious targets, right? Where the stop's going to be. There'll be some liquidity there. All right, and the top, of course. All right, seeking the 5th at this degree to get the 3rd at that degree, to get the 5th at this degree, of the 3rd to get the 4th at that degree, to get the 5th at that degree, to get the 3rd at that degree. Holy shit. Now we'll go to intermediate here. All right, can we get all of that to come out of this? Well, I don't see why not. We'd still be, working towards the is that all-time? Yes, I think that, I think it is. Yeah, all-time high. We still be heading towards that all-time high to get that 5th in here. Same thing, right? Same thing. All right, consolidation leads to expansion. Now you can say the same thing here, right, on the way down, right? Consolidation leads to expansion down. All right, looking pretty good here. Boy, that's a deep 2, but it flies, right? It flies. Well, just make sure you can see it, right? Yeah, so we're plenty clear here for that as the 2. Get my Y in there. Plenty clear, right? Inverse fair value gap. Oh, what a time to be in crypto, right? So can you chase that? Well, you could, right? I don't know. I might wait for the 4, right? For the 3 to complete, take the 4 to the 5. Remember what you're doing there, right? You're not looking for a 50% retracement then. If you get this right up here, if that's the 5, right, then you're looking for the 2. Relative to, where would we be? This 2. We'd be looking for a buy right around here. On the assumption that we go up here, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3 relative to this 1, this 2. That's your 3, 4, right? All of it just keeps coming. Right? That's the beauty of Elliott Wave, right? You get a clear roadmap, right? If this, then that, and if that, then this. It's the power of it. Why there's nothing else. If I thought there was something better, that's what I'd be teaching. All due respect to the market structure, right? Again, as I've said many times, you can't trade Elliott Wave and not be trading market structure. You're just using different names. Okay, let me go here. Last one. Okay, dot. All right, finally. All right, let's get this off of here. Holy shit, I'm over an hour. God, I was going to be short. I thought, oh, this is going to be so short and sweet because I've done all the work. Okay, same thing, right? Like all the majors, right? Big consolidation, launch. Okay, so we got that out the door. So this, I don't know, it doesn't matter. We finished with the 3, so it makes me think WXY. I don't know what A, B, C, W, X. It's pretty ugly. I kind of come back to that. It's elusive, and then it's not. Right? It's there, and then it's not. Now, could I spend an hour and get something there? Yeah, I could. Right? Do I need to? I'm not so sure I do. If this starts to roll over here, I may come back here and revisit this, but looks like that's an impulse, right? Deep, very deep correction. Let me get to a daily. I mean, we barely slide by here. Barely. 1, 2. Maybe. What matters right now is that I got a launch point here, and it looks like I've got some sort of 3 that corrects it. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's not get overly caught up in the history, right? If we've got this lunar shot going, if we have to deal with that, right, we'll come back to it. Can I buy on the discount? Nope. Is that the 4? Not sure, but it certainly looks like it's going up in a straight rail. So looking for that 3, where's the next opportunity, right? I would let that finish, try and come down for the 4. That's my view. To get that, what would we have here? Well, put that in context, right? What that's going to be. Well, if this is 1 and that's 2, which is question mark. If you have to come back here and call this a 1 and this a 2, this is going so much higher that it's almost, I mean, it's so much porn. I won't even do that. I won't do that, right? If this is 1 and this is 2 and that's going to a 3, it's in the moon. Okay, right? So there we go. That ought to get us through here. Okay, right? God damn, I'm sorry. This is so long here. I really did think I was going to be able to nail it so much more quickly. I did more coins than I usually do. That's about what I would do in a live stream. Okay, before I get off, the horn, right? Don't forget, right? Altfins, great place to go for ideas. I strongly recommend them. It's not terribly expensive. And then, right, if you like this methodology and you want to work on this skill set and the way that we approach it, if you've seen any of my videos, you know that we do the same thing every single video. I have 6 years, I don't know, 3,500, almost 4,000 videos, always the same, every single one. You can watch any of them, and you're going to see the same thing every time. That's the edge, right, as you hear me say all the time. Okay, guys, have a good weekend. I'll catch you next week.